Today, we'll dive deep into Quantum Healing by Deepak Chopra, a groundbreaking book that bridges the wisdom of ancient healing traditions with the insights of modern science and the transformative power of the mind. Based on the original chapters of the book, we'll take a journey through the invisible forces that shape your health, the relationship between mind and body, and the possibility of spontaneous, radical healing from within. This is more than a book about health. It's a guide to awakening your inner potential, restoring harmony between body and spirit, and returning to your natural state of wholeness. So, let's dive in. Quantum Healing by Dr. Deepak Chopra, summarized and presented by Wisdom Matrix 1111. Chapter 1. The Mystery of Healing. What exactly is healing? And why do some people recover from illness in ways that defy all medical expectations? Dr. Chopra begins with true stories of people who experienced what doctors might call spontaneous remission. Cancer disappears, chronic diseases vanish. Conditions once thought to be irreversible are suddenly reversed. While traditional medicine often sees these cases as flukes or rare anomalies, Chopra sees them as clues to a deeper intelligence at work, an untapped inner potential within every human being. Healing is not always linear, and that the mind and body are deeply interwoven. Deepak Chopra challenges the mechanistic view of Western medicine, which often treats the body as a machine and illness as a mechanical failure. Instead, he invites us to consider a more holistic and quantum view of health, where consciousness, beliefs, emotions, and biology interact dynamically. He references patients who have recovered not simply by taking medicine, but by undergoing inner transformations, changing how they perceive themselves, their lives, and even reality itself. The suggestion is that the body listens to the mind, and healing can be triggered by a shift in awareness, not just a change in chemistry. Chopra also introduces some Eastern concepts, such as prana, life force, and the intelligence of nature, hinting that modern science may one day uncover what ancient wisdom has always known, that the real healer lies within. Healing cannot be fully understood through biology alone. It often involves mystery and shifts in consciousness. The mind and body are not separate. They are expressions of the same underlying field of intelligence. Your body has more healing power than you realize, and that power begins with a shift in consciousness. Chapter 2. The Body That Heals Itself. Dr. Chopra deepens the central idea that your body is not just a passive machine needing outside repair. It is a living, intelligent system constantly healing and regenerating itself. He begins by illustrating something we rarely think about. Every moment, trillions of cells in your body are carrying out their duties with incredible precision, fighting off invaders, repairing damage, creating new tissue, and maintaining balance. You cut your finger, and without you doing anything, the body immediately starts to heal. You catch a cold, and your immune system gears up to fight it off. This is not an act of will, but a silent orchestration happening behind the scenes. This ability to heal isn't limited to small injuries or common illnesses. The blueprint of wholeness is always present within you, even in the midst of disease. The body is programmed for health, not sickness. What blocks this healing potential then? Chopra suggests that when you experience stress, trauma, toxic emotions, poor habits, or disconnection from your inner self, you disrupt the body's natural rhythm. Disease, in many cases, may be seen as a signal, a message that something has gone out of alignment, physically or mentally. He introduces the idea that Western medicine tends to focus on treating symptoms, often with medication or surgery, while ignoring the deeper intelligence that governs healing. That's not to say modern medicine is useless. It saves lives. But true, lasting healing comes when you activate the body's own inner pharmacy, which is capable of producing substances far more subtle and powerful than any pill. Chopra describes real-life cases where people experienced radical recoveries not because of external treatment, but because they shifted their mindset, reduced stress, and began practices like meditation, visualization, and self-reflection. These tools help reawaken the body's innate capacity to heal. Most healing doesn't come from outside sources, it comes from within. You are your own healer. Chapter 3. One Body, One Mind. Dr. Chopra challenges one of the most deeply rooted assumptions in modern medicine, the belief that the body and mind are separate. For centuries, Western science has treated the body as a mechanical structure and the mind as something abstract, intangible, and unrelated to physical health. But Chopra proposes a revolutionary truth. You are not a body with a mind or a mind with a body. You are one inseparable whole. He emphasizes that every thought, emotion, and belief you hold sends a signal to your body. If you live in a state of chronic fear, anger, or anxiety, your cells don't just feel those emotions metaphorically, they are biochemically influenced by them. Similarly, when you feel joy, peace, or love, your body responds with healing signals. Deepak Chopra introduces the concept of mind everywhere in the body. Rather than seeing the brain as the sole command center, he explains that every cell has its own form of intelligence, constantly interacting with the environment and with the rest of the body. Cells communicate through neuropeptides, chemical messengers once believed to exist only in the brain, but now found throughout the body. This means your immune system, your heart, your digestive tract, they all think in their own way. They all respond to mental and emotional states. In this view, the mind is not confined to the head. It is interwoven with your entire physiology. Chopra also presents compelling scientific evidence that supports this integrated model. Studies show that people who have positive mental attitudes, strong emotional support, and a sense of meaning and purpose tend to recover faster, live longer, and experience less disease. This isn't just positive thinking, it's the biology of belief in action. The practical implication is profound. Your thoughts can be healing or harmful, and becoming aware of this opens the door to true self-healing. When you begin to align your mental and emotional life with peace, clarity, and purpose, your body doesn't just listen, it transforms. So remember, the mind and body are one system, not two. Every thought and feeling affects your biology. Cells are intelligent and communicate using chemicals like neuropeptides, which act as messengers of emotion and intent. The brain is not the only place where thinking happens. The entire body is thinking. Chronic emotional stress or negativity weakens the immune system, while positive emotional states support healing. By becoming more mindful of your inner world, you influence your physical health in powerful and transformative ways. Next, Chapter 4, The Quantum Leap. Dr. Deepak Chopra begins to merge the language of quantum physics with the world of healing and consciousness. It's here that the book's title truly starts to take form. He introduces the idea that if we want to understand radical healing, those unexpected recoveries and deep transformations, we must look beyond the classical model of the body as a solid mechanical object. Instead, we need to see the body as it really is, at the most fundamental level, a dynamic field of energy and information. Drawing from quantum physics, Chopra explains that beneath the molecules and cells, the human body is composed of subatomic particles, and these particles behave in ways that defy our normal understanding of reality. In the quantum world, particles can exist in multiple states at once, change form depending on observation, and interact instantly across space. The rules are completely different from the material world we're used to. So what does this mean for healing? It suggests that the body is not fixed or limited. It's more like a wave of potential, constantly shifting in response to consciousness. Health and illness are not just physical events. They're fluctuations in this field of potential. And through focused intention, awareness, and shifts in perception, you can create what Dr. Chopra calls a quantum leap, a sudden dramatic shift from illness to health. This leap doesn't follow a slow, mechanical process. Instead, it's more like an instant reorganization of the body's energy, triggered from within. This is where consciousness becomes medicine. Chopra emphasizes that this isn't about defying science, it's about expanding it. Ancient healing traditions like Ayurveda already understood that the body is governed by subtle forces of energy and awareness. Now, quantum theory gives us a scientific language to explore those same ideas. At the quantum level, your body is a field of probabilities, not a fixed structure. By aligning with this deeper level of reality, you open the door to transformative healing that defies conventional limits. Ultimately, healing isn't just about treating the body. It's about realizing that you are a living field of potential. True healing comes from awakening to the infinite intelligence within you and recognizing that your consciousness plays a powerful role in shaping your health and healing. Chapter 5. The Invisible Intelligence. There is an intelligence at work within you right now, orchestrating every heartbeat, every breath, every cell division, without your conscious effort. This invisible intelligence is the silent conductor behind the vast symphony of your biology. It operates with a precision far beyond anything modern science could replicate. Deepak Chopra points out that every second, millions of biochemical reactions occur in your body in perfect sequence and timing. Enzymes, hormones, neurotransmitters, all responding to needs you're not even aware of. Where does this intelligence come from? Western medicine has historically tried to explain the body in mechanical terms, but machines need a designer, a blueprint, and someone to push the buttons. The body, Chopra says, doesn't just follow orders like a machine. It learns, adapts, responds, evolves. That's more than automation. That's consciousness expressing itself as biology. This intelligence is not separate from who you are. It is you at a deeper level. It's the non-local mind, the field of awareness that goes beyond your brain and nervous system. It's the same field of intelligence found in nature, the one that tells an acorn how to become an oak or guides a baby's development in the womb. And this intelligence isn't static, it's dynamic, creative, and responsive. You access it every time you quiet the mental noise and return to stillness, presence, or deep meditation. In fact, Chopra suggests that practices like meditation and mindfulness help you reconnect with this guiding force, allowing healing to arise not from effort, but from alignment. Illness occurs when there is disruption or blockage in the communication between your conscious self and this deeper intelligence. Healing, then, is not about fixing something broken, it's about reopening the flow, returning to your natural state of balance and harmony. In essence, your body is guided by an infinite intelligence that operates beyond your conscious control. This intelligence is not mechanical, it's adaptive, aware, and deeply wise. You are not separate from this guiding force, it is an extension of your own deeper consciousness. Healing happens when you reconnect with this divine intelligence within you, which always moves toward harmony and balance. Chapter 6. The Wisdom of Uncertainty. Most people try to avoid uncertainty. In a world that craves predictability, control, and fixed outcomes, Dr. Chopra proposes something radical, that true healing and transformation are only possible when we step into the unknown. He begins by showing how modern medicine often insists on certainties: diagnoses, treatment plans, prognoses, timelines. And while this approach can be helpful in emergencies, it leaves no room for the unexpected, no space for the mysterious forces that often lead to spontaneous healing or deep personal growth. But nature doesn't operate according to rigid rules. In fact, at the quantum level, the level of the smallest particles, uncertainty is the only constant. Particles exist in probabilities, not absolutes. The more precisely you try to observe one aspect, like a particle's position, the more uncertain the other becomes, like its speed. Chopra uses this quantum insight as a metaphor for life. The more we try to control everything, the more we cut ourselves off from infinite possibilities. So how does this apply to healing? When you hold on tightly to a specific outcome, say, demanding a cure in a certain time frame, you might be closing yourself off to a greater intelligence that's trying to move in a different way. Healing doesn't always follow a straight path. Sometimes, letting go of control and entering the unknown is exactly what opens the door to transformation. Chopra encourages us to cultivate a state of creative uncertainty, an openness to surprise, to new insights, to inner shifts that can't be predicted or forced. He notes that the greatest breakthroughs in healing, science, and even personal life often come from moments of surrender, not from struggle. Remember, in quantum reality, uncertainty is natural and necessary for transformation. Certainty limits potential. The unknown is where growth and healing happen. Meditation and mindfulness help you become more comfortable with uncertainty. In those quiet spaces, you begin to realize that you are not your thoughts, fears, or expectations. You are the awareness beneath them, and from that place of stillness, infinite possibilities become available. Next, Chapter 7, The Neurobiology of Enlightenment. One of the most fascinating and mysterious human experiences is enlightenment, a state of expanded awareness, inner peace, and freedom from suffering. But rather than treating it as something mystical and unreachable, Deepak Chopra asks a daring question: what happens in the brain and body when someone becomes enlightened? He draws on examples of spiritual masters and sages, people who have reached high levels of inner awakening. They display unusual qualities. They radiate calmness, live without fear, feel deeply connected to others, and often possess a natural ability to heal. But these qualities aren't just philosophical. These qualities have a physical and biological basis. Enlightenment may represent the highest functioning of the human nervous system. When someone reaches a sustained state of deep inner stillness, their brain begins to operate differently. The usual noise of mental activity, worry, restlessness, reactive thoughts settles down. In its place, a new rhythm emerges, one that brings coherence, clarity, and harmony to the entire body. Scientific research on meditation supports this. Brainwave patterns shift, stress hormones decrease, breathing slows, and the immune system strengthens. Chopra suggests that the enlightened state isn't supernatural, it's natural, but most of us are too distracted or conditioned to access it. He refers to the brain as a quantum computer, capable of accessing subtle realms of awareness far beyond our usual perception. But to unlock this potential, you must go beyond the limitations of ego, fear, and habitual thinking. You must move from a fragmented reactive state to one of unity and inner silence. Consciousness creates biology. When your consciousness shifts to a higher state, your body follows. Healing, then, is not just about fixing parts. It's about awakening the whole system to a new level of being. In essence, enlightenment is a real biological possibility, not just a spiritual concept. The brain and body are designed to support higher states of awareness when given the right conditions. Meditation and inner stillness can shift brainwave patterns and trigger healing responses throughout the body. Enlightenment may be seen as the full activation of the mind-body system, where fear dissolves and healing flourishes. True healing is not just about removing disease, it's about reaching your highest state of being. Chapter 8. Rescripting the Body. If the body is not a fixed machine, but a process of unfolding awareness, can you rewrite that process? Can you give your body a new script to follow? Dr. Chopra says yes. Your body is not only shaped by your genes and biology, it is also shaped by your beliefs, memories, and emotional patterns. These invisible factors operate like a script, a subconscious program that your cells and systems follow without question. Many of these patterns are inherited, others are learned through life experiences, and some are reinforced by cultural or medical conditioning. For example, if you've always believed that you're fragile, unlucky in health, or doomed by family genetics, that belief becomes part of your body's operating instructions. The body, like an actor following a role, plays out the script it's been given. But here's the hopeful message: scripts can be changed. Chopra introduces the idea of rescripting, consciously rewriting the mental and emotional patterns that shape your physical experience. This isn't about denying illness or pretending everything is fine. It's about creating a new inner narrative, one based on wholeness, strength, and your body's capacity to heal. Visualization, meditation, affirmations, and self-awareness are the tools he recommends for this process. When you practice these techniques consistently, your brain and body begin to rewire themselves. New messages replace old ones. New emotions generate new chemical signals. Slowly, the body begins to express a new version of reality. He compares this process to rewriting the code of a program. Change the instructions, and the outcome will change too. So remember, your body responds not just to biology, but to the story you tell yourself about who you are. Old beliefs, emotional wounds, and conditioned thoughts act as scripts that shape your health and well-being. Rescripting means consciously creating a new inner narrative that supports healing, vitality, and peace. Tools like meditation, visualization, and positive inner dialogue help rewrite these patterns at a deep level. When your mind changes its story, your body begins to change the way it functions. Chapter 9. Quantum Healing. Dr. Chopra defines and expands on the term quantum healing, a phrase he coined to describe a phenomenon he had observed but couldn't fully explain with conventional medicine. It refers to a spontaneous, radical shift in health, a kind of healing that seems to happen outside the expected rules of biology. But what does it really mean? Quantum healing doesn't mean mystical or magical healing, nor does it mean abandoning science. It means healing that occurs at the quantum level of existence, the deepest level of reality, where the body is not made of solid matter, but of energy, vibration, and information. At this level, the body is not bound by space and time in the way we normally experience them. Cells are not just mechanical units, they are influenced by consciousness itself. Quantum healing happens when there is a shift in consciousness that alters the very blueprint of the body, allowing it to reorganize and return to balance. This process is not controlled by effort or external force. It arises from inner alignment. When you reach a state of deep inner stillness through meditation, surrender, presence, or spiritual clarity, you create an opening for the body's intelligence to reset itself. Dr. Chopra uses real-life case studies to illustrate this. Patients who recovered from incurable conditions, not through medical intervention alone, but after a transformational inner experience, a moment of deep insight, emotional release, or connection with something beyond the self. Quantum healing is not about the disease, it's about the person. It's not about attacking illness, but awakening wholeness. Your body isn't just a machine waiting to be fixed. It's a living field of potential, influenced by how you think, feel, perceive, and connect to life. And when your consciousness shifts, so can your body, sometimes in ways that appear miraculous. Moving on to Chapter 10, The Return of the Rishi. Deepak Chopra reflects on his own journey as a doctor, trained in Western medicine but drawn to the spiritual depth of his Indian heritage. The word Rishi comes from ancient India and refers to a seer, a sage, who perceives truth not with the eyes, but through inner vision and stillness. The Rishis were not only spiritual guides, they were healers, tapping into the deepest layers of life's intelligence. Dr. Chopra uses this idea to pose a powerful question. Is the ancient wisdom of the Rishis beginning to merge with modern medicine? He believes it is. The Rishi represents an understanding of health that goes beyond the physical, that healing comes not just from treating symptoms, but from awakening the soul, aligning with nature, and listening to the intelligence within. The modern physician is often reduced to a technician, focusing on test results, protocols, and physical interventions. But the Rishi saw the patient as a whole being, body, mind, spirit, and consciousness. Chopra doesn't reject Western medicine. He respects its life-saving tools, but he believes something is missing, a recognition of the sacred intelligence that governs life itself. Chopra shares moments from his own medical practice when he witnessed remarkable recoveries, not because of pills or surgeries, but because the patient had a shift in belief, purpose, or inner state. These moments reminded him of the Rishi's approach. Healing doesn't happen through effort or force, but through a deep alignment with your own consciousness. Healing is a return to your original wholeness, a reunion with your true nature. And in that sense, we are all Rishis in the making. You don't need a robe or a title, you only need a willingness to turn inward, to listen, and to trust the wisdom that's already alive within you. Ultimately, the Rishi symbolizes the healer who sees life through the lens of consciousness, not just chemistry. True healing is not just medical or physical, it's intuitive, emotional, and spiritual. Chapter 11. The Science of Transformation. Deepak Chopra makes a bold and uplifting claim. You are not limited by your past, your biology, or your environment. You are capable of total transformation, and that transformation begins with consciousness. He starts by challenging the traditional notion that people can only make slow, incremental changes. While small steps have their place, Chopra points to something far more powerful: radical inner shifts, moments where a person sees life through a new lens, and as a result, their entire body and behavior begin to change. He calls this process the science of transformation, and it's rooted in the idea that consciousness is the primary force shaping the body and mind. When your awareness changes, when you move from fear to trust, from despair to hope, from confusion to clarity, your physiology, brain chemistry, and even your cellular behavior change with it. This isn't just spiritual talk. Dr. Chopra ties it to discoveries in neuroplasticity and psychoneuroimmunology, fields showing how thought and emotion directly influence the brain and immune system. But unlike conventional science, which often stays at the surface, this approach calls for transformation at the level of being. Transformation in this view doesn't mean becoming someone else. It means returning to your true self, the self that is already whole, wise, and deeply connected to life. Disease, dysfunction, and distress arise when we forget this inner truth. Healing begins when we remember it. The tools of transformation are the same as those of awakening: meditation, self-inquiry, stillness, love, forgiveness, presence. These are not just emotional niceties, they are tools of healing, catalysts for biological coherence and mental clarity. Transformation isn't linear. It can come in a single moment of realization or gradually unfold over time. But the possibility is always there because at your core you are not fixed, you are fluid, adaptive, and full of potential. Remember, true transformation is not an escape from your authentic self, but a journey toward your greatest authentic self. Finally, Chapter 12. The True Miracle. Dr. Chopra ties together the wisdom of ancient spiritual traditions, the discoveries of modern science, and the mysteries of human healing, and he reveals what he believes is the real miracle behind all of it. It's not the sudden disappearance of a tumor, it's not a spontaneous remission, it's not the reversal of disease against all odds. The true miracle is that healing is even possible at all. Your body, left to its own intelligence, is constantly healing, constantly restoring balance, repairing damage, and adapting to change. This process doesn't require external force. It simply requires the conditions in which the body's innate intelligence can flourish. And those conditions are not physical alone. Healing requires wholeness. It begins when your mind, emotions, body, and spirit return to harmony, when the noise of fear and conditioning gives way to silence, stillness, and presence. Chopra returns to the concept of consciousness as the foundation of reality. At your core, you are not a body, not even a mind. You are pure awareness, the silent witness behind all thoughts, experiences, and sensations. This awareness isn't something you have to attain, it's something you already are. When you recognize this, you unlock the source of healing itself. Trust the intelligence within you, let go of fear and limitation, and allow healing to happen. Not by force, but by reconnecting with your essence. Healing is not something you chase, it's something you allow. And when you return to this truth, the miraculous becomes natural. So remember, the true miracle is the body's natural ability to heal, guided by the infinite intelligence within you. Healing is not just a return to health, it's a return to wholeness and inner harmony. You are not your body or mind. You are pure consciousness, the source of all transformation. Awareness, stillness, and trust are the gateways to deep, lasting healing. The miracle isn't rare or magical, it's always been within you, waiting to be realized. Within your being lies an intelligent creative force that, when trusted and nurtured, can heal your body, renew your life, and awaken your soul. So there you have it, the insightful summary of quantum healing by Dr. Deepak Chopra. This enlightening book bridges the ancient wisdom of the East with modern scientific understanding, revealing how healing goes far beyond the physical body. From exploring the role of consciousness and the power of intention to uncovering the body's innate intelligence and its connection to the mind, each chapter offers profound insights that can transform the way we view health and healing. If you're on a healing journey, whether physical, emotional, or spiritual, seeking clarity, growth, or renewal, Deepak Chopra's Quantum Healing is absolutely a must-read. By embracing the deeper connection between mind, body, and spirit, we open the door to true transformation and healing, not through force, but through awareness, presence, and conscious alignment. Thank you for tuning in to Wisdom Matrix 1111. Please help support the channel by hitting the subscribe button and liking the video. Trust in the power of your consciousness, stay open to the mystery of healing, and let your life become a living expression of wholeness and miracles. Until next time, peace.